blaster to sight.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. This is Tyler.
And this is Michael.
And this is our 40th episode, Michael.
40th episode.
That's crazy.
40 episodes of... It's just sad.
Who has let this go on?
We have. We're responsible for this.
Oh, well,
40 episodes.
Don't remind them.
40 episodes of... Why?
just why? Why?
What have we done?
Yeah, we've been going for almost 2 years.
You were asking me earlier today what my favorite episode is.
Yes.
I think our last few episodes have been pretty good.
They've gotten better, thankfully.
Yeah?
Except for the bad episode, which I still hate, and for some reason you love.
I love that one. That's one of my favorite episodes.
I think Pizza Trophies is at least the funniest one I remember.
Of course.
We've talked about this when we record. Like right now, I'm not going to remember anything like 10 seconds after we hit stop. It's like a podcasting coma where
as soon as the music starts
talking, and then the rest of my life just blacks out, and then I wake up after the episode.
As soon as the music starts,
and I literally don't remember anything that was said.
It's a black hole of memory.
Yeah.
That you can't get out of.
It really is. So unless there's something really funny that I happen to remember after the fact, that at least means something special happened.
Like I can't think 5 seconds in front of me right now.
No,
it's bad.
Just got to keep it going.
We're just not good at this.
Well, I don't think that was ever in question whether we were or were not good. And before the episode, you were saying you were watching the holiday special today for why?
I don't know. I don't know why.
You've never seen it, right?
I started watching it and I don't even remember why I started. It was like no, it wasn't something on Twitter. I don't know. I started it for some reason, god-awful reason, who knows. And I've never seen the intro part on Kashyyyk.
Ah.
The only part I remember is some lady dancing.
Like dream sequence dancing?
Yeah, isn't there that towards the end?
It's
somewhere in there,
when
right?
They start making the music.
And it was like a Pink Floyd music video or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, why is this in a Star Wars thing?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. But that was the only part. And the Boba Fett cartoon that was just so badly animated. That was the only parts those are the only parts I remember, but so maybe that's why I started watching it, 'cause I couldn't remember that.
The grandpa, whatever his name is, the scariest thing in the universe.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can ever remember is him and Lumpy.
His name is like add a chit-chunk or something like that.
I think we have it written down here. Where did it go?
It was on Twitter.
It was on Twitter.
I did a bunch of tweets earlier when I started watching it, and I only got 6 minutes into it. And I felt like I was losing my mind.
Right? It's real bad. It's real bad.
It comes in on Lumpy walking down the stairs with, I guess, a wooden X-wing that because the grandpa was sitting on the chair carving an X-wing.
Yeah.
Right. Like you do.
Yeah. Obviously.
Which I don't even remember seeing a knife. Did this guy even have a knife?
He was just using his really sharp Wookiee nails.
I guess.
Or
it was so intricate, though.
Weird grandpa teeth that he laughs with that makes it looks like he's trying to eat your soul.
So this kid comes down the stairs and is flying around with his little X-wing and stuff. And you have no idea what this is or what it's supposed to be. Actually, no. It starts with Chewie and Han on the Millennium Falcon flying somewhere. I don't know where.
I guess they're going back to it's Life Day on Kashyyyk, and I believe Chewie's going home.
Oh, okay. Well, they don't explain that, do they? In the beginning of the movie,
half of the thing is just Wookiees talking to each other with no subtitles.
Maybe I skipped that part.
Why would you expect an explanation for the rest of the show?
Well, yeah, okay. There was a minute of beginning stuff. Harvey Korman is in this?
Sure.
Is he really?
Why not?
I just saw him in the beginning part. Oh, this is so bad.
I try to forget. I mean, it will destroy brain cells.
It did. Well, it died.
It died.
It died.
It died.
I died to destroy it. Harvey Korman is in Wikipedia.
Well, there you go.
What is happening?
He's canon.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, it's a bad
so
one.
Bad. Anyway, he comes down the stairs with this little wooden X-wing thing and goes up to the grandpa. No words have been spoken except maybe the intro part that I probably skipped over. And like zooms in around the grandpa's head, and the grandpa just looks at him with his disgusting giant lip that just flaps open up and down.
Like he could swallow his own head with his lip. Like it would just wrap
Backwards,
over his face onto the back of his head, and then he would just there'd be a blah, 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 blah.
He just does that a bunch of times.
Pretty much.
And then like the mom who has a liver disease or something because her eyes are completely black, just black circles all over her. And she's like yelling at him, the Lumpy, to do something.
And Wookiee.
In Wookiee, no
Shriveled,
subtitles or anything.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on. It's like take out the Wookiee laundry or something.
Sure, why not? Sure, that's what she was saying.
She's wearing an apron. For some reason. Like Chewie doesn't even wear her clothes.
She's got a bandolier and she's got an apron on. Everyone's really ashamed of Chewie just being nude all the time.
The grandpa's nude. Maybe it's just the guys. I don't know.
Maybe.
Lumpy's nude too. Everybody's nude except her, and she's wearing an apron. And there's this one part, she's in the little Wookiee kitchen or whatever it is over in the corner.
It's got to be a Wookiee kitchen.
Preparing dinner, and she just has this giant hammer, and she's just
Just like beating the counter with it.
Like she's yelling at Lumpy to do something, and she's yelling at Lumpy to do something, and he is like, no, I don't want to do it. And she just yells at him some more and turns around and just
keeps beating the table.
Smacks.
So question, do Wookiees have nipples? It's not a trivia question. I'm legitimately asking.
They would have to, right? They're mammals.
So speaking of the men not wearing clothing, but she has an apron on. Is it like a dog?
Gotta hide
like,
those Wookiee titties.
Is it like a dog where there's like 6 nipples and that's why she wears the apron because she's gotta cover them up?
Those Wookiee titties.
Oh yeah. No, but is that?
But then she just takes it off in front of them,
Oh.
so that probably can't be it.
I guess not.
That's
Dang
when she
it.
goes over and picks up Chewbacca's headshot and just looks at it for a little bit.
Because he hasn't been home in like 40 years.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They have like legitimate.
And it's got
The
like
headshots that
70s sitcom like sparkly camera filter where everything is super shiny for some reason.
Yeah.
And so she pulls up his headshot and it's like all sparkly and he's just like standing there with his hand on his
it's
hip.
like legitimately one of the headshots that the autographs get signed
like a
on.
press
Yeah.
press photo or something.
Yeah.
I was losing my mind. It was so
No,
bad.
It's
But
real.
that's 6 minutes of it.
It's real bad. It doesn't get any better.
Oh my gosh.
So enjoy the rest of that if you want to.
It's
You probably shouldn't.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I have to keep watching it. I mean,
I guess you have to. You shouldn't.
I have to now.
But I guess
I want
you
to know
have
what
to.
happens.
Nothing. That's the problem. Nothing important happens.
Really?
They're celebrating Life Day. Who cares?
Where does
Nothing good
Where
happens.
does this Kashyyyk thing go with the family?
It's Life Day on Kashyyyk.
Do they ever explain that? Like, how do you know that?
Someone probably gurgles something at someone. I don't. I think Leia explains it at some point. She makes an announcement about.
Leia does,
Yeah.
not the Wookiees.
They can't speak basic.
So
Apparently.
Leia shows up at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is? Why?
It's been a long time since I watched it. And
When is
I
this supposed to take
have
place?
no need to go back and watch it again.
Is this after Return of the Jedi? Is the holiday special canon?
I don't think so. I believe this was before Empire. I believe that was the first time we saw Boba Fett was in that cartoon.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's how he was introduced, right?
That was the first time we saw it. So yeah, this was before Empire. So this was sometime after 77.
Well, damn.
Let's look it up on the phone.
I don't understand. I don't understand what is happening or why this was necessary and I
Yeah, it was 78, so it was like the year between the films.
okay. Yeah, it was a year after the original.
It only has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's surprising.
That's more than it deserves.
I don't understand how I don't remember this because I remember the end part.
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember this part, and this part is insane so far.
It doesn't get any better. It's just Wookiees.
Does it actually get worse, or is it just the
Wookiees
same?
squonking at each other for an hour and a half?
Squawk.
Yeah, it literally is an hour and 37 minutes. So
It is, yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't believe that part.
Good luck with all the. It's basically like a 70s like variety show where there's like musical numbers and breaks and it's
just scanning through it.
It's bad.
The thumbnails right now, it's like the Muppet Show, the old Muppet Show. Everything's different.
Basically, yes. It's exactly that.
There's nothing
that like variety show where there's like, oh, and now there's a musical number for whatever reason. Okay, back to the main story of Lumpy being weird and Grandpa eating souls.
I see it.
Nope, we've got a music dance number by this Twi'lek.
Oh, jeez, Leia looks so bad in this.
Everyone should not be in this. All of it is bad.
There's like one stormtrooper.
He's probably dancing.
Wandering around.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, the animated part. Oh, it's terrifying.
78. What do you want?
Wow. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I
go
need
back.
to.
Continue.
This is a great podcast so far. Just kind of
go back,
looking at things.
Just like, oh God, oh no, why am I? Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Go
everybody.
back and watch it.
I kind of lost myself.
Finish watching it. If you can still like verbalize through text.
I don't know if I can.
Any words, let me know how it went.
Yeah.
Everyone else, if you want to lose your mind, go ahead and watch the holiday special if you haven't already.
I mean, this isn't controversial to say that it was bad.
No, I'm pretty sure
everybody knows it's
agrees
bad.
It's really super horrible.
And I knew it was bad
and everyone
before.
just like says, oh, it's horrible, but a lot of people haven't actually watched it. If you haven't watched it and you know it's horrible, you need to experience it to know.
It is insane. You have to see
it
this.
is. Yes.
Like I said, it's not a controversial opinion.
No, it's not a controversial opinion at all. All right. Episode 8 stuff. Nothing has happened, Michael.
Since when?
Since ever.
So.
There's still nothing with episode 8 because we know we're not going to get anything until.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Until Celebration. We're getting like tiny tidbits here and there.
Ooh,
like,
tiny tidbits.
Tidbits.
Ooh.
Like John Boyega getting being gifted a poster from, I think it was Ryan Johnson, right? That gifted him the poster.
Yes.
And it's a poster of Finn, and it says bio-hexacrypt on it, which apparently is some word that he thought was absurd and couldn't get out of his mouth when they were filming.
It was a piece of actual dialogue in the movie.
Yeah, it's like, you know how there's like those words like people can't believe they're saying in a Star Wars film or a futuristic film because it's just the stupid word. Yeah. Apparently that was the word that he had trouble with in the movie and was like
bio-hexacrypt.
Bio-hexacrypt. So whatever that is, there's our spoiler of the week.
Bio-hexacrypt.
Bio-hexacrypt. Whatever. That is a really stupid word. I'd be interested to see what that turns out to be. Probably.
Well, my name is bio-hexacrypt. I'm here to say I'm here to rap in a bio-hexacrypt way.
You can't even get the words out to say bio-hexacrypt. Also, Ryan Johnson.
I'm a rapping guy, and I'm here to say bio-hexacrypt. It's hard to say.
Thank you.
I rhyme say with say because I don't care in a caring way.
Thank you, rap man.
That was Rapping John. He just
rapping
left.
John. Okay, that's right. Your rapping persona is Rapping John. I think mine is Rapping Bob. Right? Is that what we decided earlier before the episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Rapping John will come back eventually.
They're always there in the back of our minds.
In the bottom of our pants.
That's something else.
Rapping John, get out of my pants. Get out of my pants, Rapping John.
Ryan Johnson also tweeted today.
He tweeted?
He did.
Are you saying what that tweet?
Do we have a thing?
What that tweet?
What that tweet?
What that tweet? What did I tweet? What that tweet? What did I tweet? And what is
What that tweet?
Thanks.
What that tweet?
So there's that again, guys. You're welcome. And so someone tweeted saying, it's my birthday. Tell me what The Last Jedi means. And Ryan Johnson replied saying it means The Final Jedi, which tells us nothing. And it could have very well just been a joke.
Which, by the way, he responded to the same person again a few minutes ago saying, everyone knows that last and final are synonyms, right?
Yeah.
Like they mean the exact same thing.
Yeah. So everyone, the internet was freaking out that Rian Johnson said a different word than The Last Jedi, and that it definitely
That means the
100%
same thing.
meant something else entirely. So
there's that.
there's
So
that
that
tweet.
helps so much in our discussion.
Yes, it resolves the argument that I am right and you are wrong, and The Last Jedi means the final one.
But of
in
course,
an overarching way that has nothing to do with
I
it.
think, clearly you actually mean that I'm right and you're wrong, and that he's confirming that I'm right.
Sure.
Really, truthfully, that I'm right, and I was right all along. Really, that
Mm-hmm.
my argument was correct and was right, and you were not.
You're just
Yous
using
were not.
synonyms now.
Yous were not was right.
I was just not right.
Nope.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that riveting argument for your side of the...
Yours was right.
Mine was right. Yes.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
The rumor come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay? For those who don't know what that is referencing at all, there's a horrible blog wannabe news
Don't
site.
explain jokes.
No, that had an article about Bruno Mars being gay, and the title, and like it started out with "The rumor come out: Does Bruno Mars is gay?" So read that whole thing because it's a great one. Just Google that sentence and you'll find loads of joy. The rumor come out.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
Yes.
Easy. Even it has happened in 2012, but some of the public's still curious about what is exactly happening. And to be the reason there is a rumor comes out about his gay.
Oh, that article will never not cheer me up.
At that time, he became the massive social networking rumor.
He became a rumor? Wow. That's a feat.
He just came out with his bad rumor, which is spread massively.
Jeez. Oh, that whole article is...
Bruno Mars is
Fantastic.
gay is the most discussed in the media in the few years ago. Anyway.
I want to pay someone on Fiverr to read that in like a really good voice.
Keanu Reeves. I want to hear that in
Why
Keanu Reeves'
Keanu
voice.
Reeves?
I don't
Is that
know.
a good voice? I don't know where Keanu
I
Reeves
like
came
his
from.
voice. You don't like his voice?
It's okay.
I like his voice.
Sure, why not? Well,
What are we talking about?
We were talking about.
We're
the fact
recording a
that
podcast.
we're talking about the fact that nothing has happened in regards to Star Wars since last we Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and bio-hexacrypts and Rian Johnson saying final instead of last, and
That's about it.
that's the Star Wars news.
And then someone on Twitter made me angry.
Oh yeah, go for that.
Someone, I don't know who it was. It wasn't.
just
They
the
weren't
internet.
even tweeting at us.
No, you just found another tweet and then got angry
just
and
saw it
replied to
on the
them like
internet.
100 times.
I know.
Thank you.
I saw it on the internet and it made me angry, and so I felt entitled to share that opinion with him or her.
Okay,
And that opinion was that Ezra is the best new canon character.
that's their opinion, not yours.
The opinion that was being shared that
Yes.
made me very upset inside of my body.
That Ezra was the best new canon character ever.
The best.
The best of all of the new canon characters.
Ezra.
No.
No? That's just plain wrong.
That's not right.
There's not even a question there. That's
As we've
just
discussed
wrong.
before, many people seem to like Rebels. We are not of the many.
But think about how crazy that statement is.
Chop is better and more interesting than Ezra as far as I'm concerned.
This is they say the new canon.
Yeah.
So we're talking about everything after they wiped EU.
Yeah.
After that
I like
became
Chopper
Legends.
better than Ezra.
Everything.
Just Chopper.
You really can't think of any.
Sabine's helmet is more interesting than Ezra.
You really can't think of any better characters.
The flight
In the-
stick and the ghost.
The flight stick?
Yeah, what you fly the ship with.
Is that a character?
It's just more interesting than him.
Does it have opinions? I want to know opinions about
About the flight stick?
that the flight stick has, or about the flight stick.
Okay.
Who has opinions about the flight stick on Rebels?
My opinions are that it is more interesting than Ezra. Those are my opinions.
My opinion is that Rebels is a terrible show. And I think we've talked about that before.
Maybe a few times.
And it's jammed down our throats, our collective throats, with all of this stuff that we are forced to care about.
I understand that people think it's cool because he's a character that has this pull from the light and the dark and the fighting and all the stuff that's going on with him and Darth Maul and the bio-hexacrypts. What's the Jesus, Star Wars words. The story cubes.
You're holding your hands like you're cradling something. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Jedi story cubes. What are they called? Jesus.
The holocrons?
Yes, thank you.
The Jedi story cubes.
Him with the holocrons and the stuff with Darth Maul.
It's like Goldenrod books. The Jedi story cubes.
Yeah.
As you buy them in packs of 6 and give them to your kids.
Yeah. New from Mattel. Star Wars story cubes.
It's like a split with half Star Wars, half Berenstein Bears. Star Wars story cubes.
So yeah, those,
just eat them and you'll absorb the stories.
So those and all that stuff going on, and I get that everything around him has this depth, but I don't feel that I still am not interested in him in the slightest.
What around him has depth? What in that show has depth besides the stuff
with
Darth
Maul? The stuff with like Darth Maul caring about.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yes, that and the him trying to figure out everything, and that's cool and all. I hate him so much.
I know.
For whatever reason, and I just can't get past the fact that I don't care that it's him going through all of this. If it was anyone else, I would probably be interested, but because it's him, I really don't care.
But you wouldn't care anymore if Kanan was going through it, or if Sabine was going through it, or Hera, or any of the other dumb characters on that show. It's just bad.
It's not for us. And
it's for the kids.
As a Star Wars fan, as nerds and geeks in general, we don't accept when things are not for us specifically, because all of them should be for all of us. And
we hate change.
Me specifically.
Something changed, and it's not good.
Well, yeah, I just can't get into it. I want to like it. I've said it before. I wish I could watch Rebels and be super excited, and just like I was with Clone Wars, but I cannot. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I know. It's the same,
Chopper,
same way.
Chopper is cool. Chop is fun. I like Chop. He's cool.
But why? I mean, it's just
He's a sassy robot. Everyone loves a sassy
You really do have
robot.
a thing for sassy robots, don't you?
Oh snap! Yeah,
Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones is so sassy. So in Empire's End, I guess what, guys? I didn't finish it by the time we recorded the next episode. I'm at about 70%.
Did we promise that?
I said I would try, and
okay.
I then said that we all know that won't happen, but in the case that it does, you're welcome.
But you tried, and you did pretty well.
I read it a couple times.
And you skipped to the end and read the last
No, I did not read it. I just saw what the
title?
epilogue was titled.
Oh, all right. I thought you skipped ahead.
So at one point, they're like drop ship, like getting ready to jump off a spaceship style. The ramp is down on the back of a ship, and there's those pistons that go from the ramp to the roof, and you hold on to them. And so Nora's hanging onto one, and the description is Bones is hanging on the other with one leg kicked out, like spinning around it. Kind of like a stripper. So that's why Mr. Bones is
he really does need to be
the sassiest,
in
and I just want the adventures of Mr. Bones. I want a cartoon.
Who do you think would voice him?
I want a cartoon like Powerpuff Girls animated, like Mr. Bones. Yeah. Like I want like a super cutesy Mr. Bones cartoon,
like a Jendy Tartakovsky kind of thing, or like Craig McCracken or whoever did Powerpuff Girls, like that kind of really blocky, like Dexter's Lab kind of.
Yes, exactly. Animation. Yeah,
he's basically Dee Dee, isn't he? He's like a killer.
Jeez, wait, yeah, he's like murder
Dee
Dee.
Yeah, like a killer Dee Dee.
Probably, yeah, because he's always popping up in places and like getting into people's faces, and
right.
Yeah, he's Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab. That you hit it spot on. That is exactly who Mr. Bones is. Wow. Yeah.
Who would voice him? I keep thinking of Alan Tudyk if he was in something, but Alan Tudyk can't do that.
He's already done a robot now.
Right.
I guess he could do a different voice.
Yeah, he's amazing. I'm sure he could make it sound different.
I mean, apparently his voice is still the same voice as a battle droid. I don't think he didn't, from the descriptions, I don't think he changed the voice at all.
Okay. Well, then, so...
But, I mean, you would probably have to give him a different voice just so it's not that grating
maybe
battle droid voice.
That would be kind of funny to hear that monotone
voice.
But the crazy kind of things that he says, yeah.
Yes. All the stuff when people are hugging and, yeah.
What was that thing you told me about? He was hugging somebody. Something about violent. Do you remember?
What was it? It was like, a hug is like violence, but it's like love violence with less blood or something along those lines.
A hug is like violence made of love.
Yeah, yes, a hug is like violence made of love. Yeah, because you're squeezing each other.
It's pretty great.
And yeah, that was when like, who was hugging? It was like Timon and his dad or something
with the group.
Yeah, like two people were hugging, and Mr. Bones just like popped up between them. It was like, a hug is made of violence made of love, because he just appears in people's personal space when things are happening.
Yeah, he needs to be.
Every description of him in the background is him just dancing around, like he's literally dancing around while people are like having a serious discussion. The descriptions, you can picture Bones just like dancing across the background of the screen, like if you're watching it with your mind's eye.
It's deep.
And they're just having a super serious conversation, and Bones is like, frolicking past. And yeah, you've hit it spot on. He is exactly DD from Dexter's Lab. That makes so much more sense now.
Oh man. Yeah, he needs to be in something, if that's even possible.
I wish they had a.
Do you think we'll have post Jedi shows like Rebels?
More?
We've talked about this before.
More of them?
Set in this time.
I mean, Rebels seems to be gapping all of that, though, with all of the important people like Obi-Wan and Leia and everyone.
You don't think they
matters.
would have...
Like, is there anything else to cover other than what's happening in Rebels?
Well, that's everything to cover up until A New Hope, but I'm saying after Jedi.
Oh, after Jedi, from that to...
Yeah, because that's when this is set, this book.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be a show? I mean, there's been talks of a live-action show for a while now.
I mean, we have these books that seemingly cover a portion of that span. Obviously, not a ton, but a couple years, I guess.
You don't think they would repeat anything from the books?
No, I don't think they would just make the books into a show. Maybe have characters from the books appear.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the same time period. Maybe have some of the story events cross over.
Yeah, I don't know what could happen. I mean, honestly, I want a political drama with all the stuff that's happened in like Bloodline and what's happening in Aftermath.
That could be
But we couldn't have Leia, obviously, be the character.
Yeah, and she's pretty core to that. And
Mon Mothma isn't she's cool, but she's not like the most involved in all the darkness side of it.
Right.
Or like Senate, like the Senate hands, like the people that like are the what are they called? Like pages, the Senate pages or something. I don't know, just like some political drama of the stuff happening from Jedi to like forward, because there's so much political stuff going on. I feel like there really could be a political drama show. That would be pretty cool. Just the other planets and stuff going on that the main story is still happening that we know of. Yeah. But just like everything else, like the people that are doing all these like backdoor deals and in Empire's End, the Black Sun, and Red Key, like these two syndicates, get these like 3 or 4 senators to vote no on going to war against the Empire, and because they like kidnapped one of their sons and kidnapped another one's prized pet. So is the Empire paying them to do that, or I don't know who? Is it just in their interest to not have a war happen? So far, it appears that it was just in their interest that as long as the war keeps going, there's no Republic to stop them from being syndicates. Because obviously the New Republic is against all crime and syndicates, and they're going to shut all that down. They're lobbying against what? The Republic? So the Republic was having a vote to go to war against the Empire and finally like destroy them all on Jakku. But you just said that they are already at war. What do you mean? They're afraid that the Republic is going to win in this war. Yes, like the Republic is like going to Jakku with all of their ships to end the Empire.
Oh,
and that was the vote. That was what the vote was for. So they rigged it by getting these senators under their, by kidnapping one of their kids and a prize pet, and getting them to vote no to going to war just enough. So it was like 5 votes off from winning.
Oh.
And they found that it was them, and it seems to be just because it's in their best interest to group together so that as long as the war keeps going and doesn't end, they can exist and do all of their deals.
But even in Bloodline, like, that kind of stuff hasn't been cleaned up yet. And that
Not
Bloodline
yet, but I think they're all afraid that it's going to be cleaned up.
Oh, okay.
The possibility of
I'm just saying, by the time you get to the Bloodline span of time, which is a lot closer to Force Awakens,
yeah,
the Republic has been around for a few years. The New Republic, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, even then, all of that junk hasn't really been cleaned up.
Yeah, not really.
Like, the Republic is stretched super thin, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of just
and then apparently they get completely wiped out, or mostly wiped out in Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like a House of Cards kind of political, not even, I mean, the Senate, what's going on with all the people and the things and the deals.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, any live action show I would watch.
Any live action show would be cool.
Yeah.
Whatever that video game that got shut down by EA, what was it, like 1313? Like, make that into a live action, like, like a Daredevil, Luke Cage type Star Wars show on Netflix, Star Wars Underworld, series on Netflix. That could totally happen.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I do expect there to be a Netflix original Star Wars live action show at some point.
Definitely.
And
what's really exciting
how soon, because I mean they have so much going on, and we would know if that was being shot or happening, right? Like, there would be no way around that rumor getting out.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if they could hide it, but so what, in the next 5 years maybe we have a live action show?
I would say so. Yeah.
Like 5 years minimum?
Yeah. Because then, 5 years is...
We'll have all the new trilogy out.
At least the 9th one will be coming out, or, close to coming out. But what's exciting about that is, like, these shows, like these Marvel shows, they're kind of building the universe as they go a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a Avengers type situation.
I know that's not entirely true. There's, like, the characters have been around for a while, and they have history and origin stories and all that.
But they are rebuilding a lot of what was, and they're kind of
doing it as they go. And with Star Wars, some of that stuff is just already there, so you can pick a point in time, or pick a character or event or something, and build that out. Yeah. But you already have that starting point, so there's just so many possibilities for really cool shows.
Yeah, I hope sooner rather than later.
Like you're saying, a Star Wars Underworld thing where Black Sun shows up a lot. Like, that would be super interesting.
Yeah,
just see that.
Like some crime syndicate. I mean,
like bring Prince Zizor back from Shadows of the Empire. Be really cool.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet.
I forgot about him.
He was Black Sun, wasn't he? Wasn't he the leader of Black Sun?
I think so.
In Shadows of the Empire.
Completely forgot about him.
Yeah. Yeah, like bring him back, or do like you're saying, like a political show where you pick after the second Death Star is destroyed, or or when the New Republic is starting up again. I don't know.
Or like basically the cantina on the Death Star, but Cheers. Let's do that. That's my other idea. Not as good as the political drama, but I want, like, Death Star, that would be cantina, Cheers.
That'd be pretty bad. Wouldn't that be pretty bad?
I didn't say it'd be good, but for some reason I kind of want that just a little bit.
That's not like Cheers. That's like Deep Space Nine. Maybe. Like, super corny, and you can't really do a lot with it because they don't go anywhere.
Exactly. It's just like Cheers, but just in the Death Star, one of the many Death Star cantinas.
It's like Happy Days, but if you never left the restaurant.
Yeah. Or like Always Sunny, but on the Death Star. Like, it's the group of friends that own the bar, the cantina on the Death Star, and they get into hijinks.
Does the Death Star contract out, like, refreshments and stuff?
I assume that everyone on the Death Star is not, like, part of the war machine. Like, the guy running one of the 500 cantinas on that planet-sized thing, like, they've got to just be like, hey.
You think they
send a guy through like basic training
in there or something?
Yeah, it's like an airport terminal. There's just like a subway and a Quiznos and
There's a Payway. And
yeah, there's that
Applebee's.
yeah. There's that place where you can buy like various phone cables and chargers and whatever various electronic things. Why would you need to buy any of that in the airport?
Like it's comlink, rubber comlink
Yeah.
cases and stuff with pink sparkles. And
Did they have the machines where you can put in quarters and like get like a new comlink? Like you can buy an iPod and like one of those machines. Just buy a new comlink because yours is broken or you forgot it at home and you really need one for this 2-hour flight to whatever planet you're about to take off on, and you gotta have music because God forbid you talk to any of your buddies.
They sell all the adapters to your Stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like basically like Parks and Recs on the Death Star. Like whoever's in charge of like the convenience of the Death Star, like that.
Just follows that department.
Yeah. Yeah, like Parks and Rec on the Death Star.
Do you think we'll ever see a comedy?
A Star Wars comedy?
That
I would like
wasn't
to.
that
I
gonna
really
happen?
doubt it would happen.
Wasn't that gonna happen at some point? Wasn't George Lucas gonna?
There was a cartoon coming out on Cartoon Network with Seth Green heading it up, right? That
Yeah,
Star Wars
right before they
comedy.
got bought.
And it was premiered, like the first episode was shown at one of the celebrations.
Yeah, and that was right before
And it was right
Lucasfilm
before,
was
and
sold.
it's like it
And
was
it got
with everything
canceled.
else. It got canned like right when they bought it, just like
Yeah.
the 3D re-releases.
That's right.
But it was going to be like a more not super adult, but more adult
Do you think it was going to be something
comedy
like this?
cartoon.
That'd be it's basically what we're describing, right? I had forgotten about it.
But it was more of like a Adult Swim type cartoon,
Oh, really?
I think.
Still, that would be.
But I want like a
interesting.
stupid comedy, like funny, like Parks and Rec, but on the Death Star, and they're in charge of. Well, I guess I don't know if you've ever seen the show that's Space Janitors.
Space Janitors.
Have
Is
you
that
ever
what it's
have
called?
have you ever? I believe I'm gonna look it up because I forget. Yes, yes, it's called Space Janitors, and it without for copyright reasons, none of those words are ever used, but they are on the Death Star, but they're the janitors on the Death Star. It's like a web miniseries. It went for I think 3 seasons.
What?
And it was pretty funny.
I don't remember that at all. I don't think I've ever seen that.
And there were stormtroopers and Imperial officers, but their like outfits were slightly changed. And
All right.
but yeah, it was space janitors, and the 2 main guys were just janitors on the Death Star. So they're like cleaning up hallways and
That's
crazy,
interesting.
and then crazy stuff would happen. And it was pretty funny for the couple seasons that it ran, but obviously it was a web series. It wasn't like a big budget like Parks and Rec,
Right.
full-sized licensed Star Wars show,
Right.
which I think would be hilarious. Like you mentioned, I don't know if that would ever
I don't
be
know.
allowed.
It just doesn't.
I want it. Like I really want to be able to like binge like Parks and Rec Star Wars comedy
You could
making
never
fun of itself. Like
Could
like
you-
like Parks and Rec makes fun of like Indiana because everyone knows Indiana is it's bad
Right.
and boring and horrible. I've been to Indiana, so I can say that. No, Indianapolis is cool for anyone from Indiana. I'm sorry. But like being able to make fun of Star Wars because nothing is really making fun of
Could
Star
you
Wars
introduce
officially.
new canon in a show like that?
No. You
don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think you could.
It would just have to be about a bunch of nobodies doing their stupid mundane job and it just being funny. I want one. I want it real bad.
I would love to see that, but during like big events. But the show the finale would have to be the Death Star blowing up,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Certainly. That for
Like,
sure.
You can't get away from that if it's on the Death Star, like you're saying.
No,
If
the
it's
end
like-
of it's like The Sopranos.
if it's like
where
the subway on the
like
Death
everyone's like,
Star.
hey, and they all sit down, and then just the Death Star blows up because they don't know anything's happening on the inside because they're just part of whatever tiny little thing.
They're just making sandwiches.
Just an unexpected end, like Sopranos, where it just like cuts to black, but it just cuts to that outside view of the Death Star where it blows up into like little tiny specks. Yeah,
And that's the finale.
that's the finale. That's just how it ends.
Credits.
Yeah, like Death Star blows up at the end of A New Hope when like all this slowly like blows up with all the twinkling. That, and then credits. The end. Show's done. Oh, yeah. So, live action. We want a comedy like Parks and Rec. We want a political drama, and then we want a seedy underbelly show. So there's 3 ideas. Lucasfilm,
Get on it.
Get on it, Netflix.
People that satisfy us. I say that a lot.
Get on it. You who satisfies me. Is that just when you get in bed at night?
Get on it.
Get on it. You there.
What was your name again?
Get out of my house.
That's me saying that? Me saying that when I'm not
I
satisfied?
imagine that was your wife telling you to just leave. Yep. Those would all be cool shows. My daydreams of those. Yeah. So there was some other episode 7 or episode 8 kind of information out there for making Star Wars. They got some, tidbits of information from God knows who their secret agents are. Kind of like a state of the galaxy after episode 7. And I thought some of it was, interesting ideas. Just the fact that, so kind of the summation of it is that, like, for Snoke, the loss of Starkiller Base was significant. But now his forces are no longer a secret, so everyone knows. Anyone that thought the First Order was a joke is now knows, because as we know from Bloodlines, like, First Order, what are you talking about? There's no one as big as the Empire, that whole thing. So people know the First Order exists now, and anyone that didn't think they were a threat is either not laughing anymore or dead. So there's no more like Cold War standoff between the Resistance and because it was the Resistance against the First Order. It wasn't the Republic against the First Order. It was.
Do you think the Alliance is gonna, or not the Alliance, the New Republic? You think that'll be? Well,
and that's the thing is, like, after the assault on the Republic in the Senate, there's, one, no one views Snoke as anyone as irrelevant, but there's also like no Republic anymore. They destroyed the entire system.
Yeah.
That the Republic, the Senate, everything. So there's just like no order anymore. Like no one's in charge. Yeah. So now the galaxy seems to understand that the First Order is eventually coming to conquer its worlds, and that the worlds have to fall in line or resist. And most understand that war has returned and the perceived era of peace is over. Snoke knows that everything they used to do in secret is no longer an option. Overt wars on the horizon. The Republic has completely collapsed, and the galaxy is in complete disarray, and everyone has to pick a side now. And Leia no longer stands alone in her determination that the First Order is the greatest threat to freedom and democracy in the galaxy, and the only choice they have left is to fight. So that's something I hadn't really thought of before, is the fact that even during Episode 7, it was still that like Leia and her group knowing about the First Order, like from Bloodlines. Like it's still like the First Order was still very much a secret.
Remember how Bloodline ends? It was just that small group of people
training on whatever planet.
They were basically the only people who knew about the First Order.
And then that small group of people. Yeah. And, Mon Mothma trusted Leia, but like no one
could ally with her openly.
And we still don't have that story of how the Resistance, like obviously at the end of Bloodline, there was that group with the pilots, and like Snap Wexley was there, and like that was the start of the Resistance, but it was like on a need to know basis, like only a small group of people knew, and they weren't spreading it out. Right. So
because they were afraid
that group grew to the size that it was in Episode 7, we still don't have that story of.
Well, it's just people like friends recruiting friends
until it got bad enough they had to do something with it.
No, I think that's literally how it started. Was just friends recruit. It's just word of mouth kind of thing. But they couldn't. I mean, the reason they couldn't be more open with it was because of sabotage, right? They were trying to avoid.
No one knew who was in on it or not.
Right.
Almost. And most people didn't believe that there could be a force out there that was strong enough to be of any importance anymore.
Right.
So I hadn't really considered that. That
facility.
One, no one really knew about the First Order, and when anyone talked about it, they were like, there can be no one as big as the Empire again. That'll never happen again in history.
That facility in Bloodline that they were going to use to try to prove the First
that
Order's existence.
That underwater place
was just destroyed. They self-destructed basically.
Yeah.
Or no, it wasn't self-destruct. It was like an accident or something.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting now, one, to see how many forces there are left since all of Starkiller blew up, and you saw how many troops were on there.
Yeah.
But now that it's basically everyone knows about us, and there's still just that small resistance to stop us. Because
that's my question. Why didn't Snoke anticipate that this would happen? That Starkiller could be compromised? He was just counting on everything being secret.
I think I mentioned this last episode because you brought this up as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that Snoke cares about that. Like, that was part of his being able to rule and do stuff, and probably
but from
more
this,
so,
it seems like
it was like more so Hux and like the Empire,
the military
Imperial,
part
like
of
military
it, sure.
thing. Whereas Snoke probably, whatever, do that. I'll help you do it. That's fine. That'll help us be able to control and look for Luke.
Yeah.
But I think his thing is, I want to find Luke, and that's all that matters. Because once I find him, I'll be the most powerful person, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to figure out how he couldn't. I mean, because from what you just described,
the Emperor didn't figure out the first Death Star was going to get exploded.
Well, no, but he didn't have something like this in history. Now Snoke has
knowing that happened before.
This happening twice in history. And then he goes and builds this other, this crazy super weapon. Mm-hmm. Maybe it existed before he showed up or not. Maybe that's what's happening on Jakku in Empire's End. I'm sure lots of people know, and you don't know. I don't know for sure.
I'll finish it by next episode, guys. Yep. I'll do it. Don't you wait and see.
Like, maybe Snoke inherited Starkiller Base. Maybe it wasn't his idea. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seems kind of crazy.
I honestly think Snoke could have seen it coming or understood that it was probably going to happen, but may not have cared.
That's my point. I don't understand how he could not have seen that coming.
Yeah, and that's what I think he did. I think he saw it was likely going to happen, and that really
did he ever watch A New Hope?
Wasn't his point.
Did he watch A New Hope? Did he see what happened there?
He doesn't have the holovids of all that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I assume he knew it was going to happen, but he didn't care because, one, obviously he wasn't on Starkiller Base, He was just beaming in from Idaho. And he doesn't, he knows not to be there. He knows that's a bad idea.
It's for his Chair World.
Chair World. Is that his Chair World and Couch Emporium?
Yep.
Snoke's Chair World. Come and get your giant chairs down at Snoke's Chair World.
Come in to Snoke's Chair World, where we have lots of chairs in the whole world. Would you like this kind of chair? It's on Snoke's Chair World. Would you like a tall chair with a small back?
That would be the worst. You're talking about is that like a stool? Why do we have a tall chair with a small back? What is the point of that chair?
I don't really know how you would use this chair, but it's on Snoke's Chair World. Come to Snoke's Chair World for all of the chairs.
Snoke's Chair World on Route 5.
Snoke's Chair World is not represented by the Empire as a whole, please.
I'll go to Snoke. Yes, like I said, Snoke wasn't obviously on Starkiller Base, so I think he knew it was coming because he knew not to be there. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't. That's not his purpose. He wants Luke, for whatever reason. He wants Luke. He wants him so bad.
Squeeze his force powers.
Just want to
juice
that
him.
little butt.
Just want to juice that man.
I'm gonna juice you. I'm gonna juice the force right out of you.
Come here, just let me juice your force. Juice that force juice.
Why has Luke been hiding so long? Why would he not want that to happen from...
I don't want to be juiced. My precious juice.
What? Are we in the bayou now? What is happening?
Well, golly, Mr. Snoke, I don't want to be juiced.
Now you're Gomer Pyle. Awesome. Fantastic.
Mr. Snoke, I need my juice. I need it to keep inside my body.
So now we're doing Andy Griffith of Star Wars. Is that the next show? Is that our other show idea?
Well, golly, Mr. Snoke. Golly. Golly gee, Miss Ray. Coming here to learn how I got juice?
No, that's like the Tatooine show with like the sheriff on Tatooine with his deputy and Gomer Pyle, Space Gomer Pyle. That's that show.
Why is there a Space Gomer Pyle?
Because that's the voice you're doing. I don't know why he's there.
No, it's Luke.
That's what Luke turned into?
Yeah,
because he's a farm boy?
Now. We haven't heard him yet. He could sound like that for all we know.
It's true. He could have had a horrible accident and now sound like Gomer Pyle for whatever.
Well, golly, Jay, you want to learn how to use this lightsaber?
If that's what he sounds like when his first words at the opening of episode 8, talking to Rey.
Well, golly, that's my lightsaber. Well, I've seen that before when I was on Cloud City. You got my hand? Oh, gee willikers.
Please don't. I fully trust that will not happen.
You sure? Sure about that?
I think I'm fairly. You wanna bet? We haven't done a bet in a while. You want to do a bet that
I feel
Luke?
like that would probably not be a safe bet.
Okay, good to know.
I'm not that dumb. Do you want to talk about the stuff you've read so far in Empire's End, or
no?
do you want to wait?
I'll wait. I'll compile, because the thing is, if I say stuff about some of these things now, probably some of it will wrap up, and my thoughts on it now won't matter at all because they'll wrap up and be more concise. So I really do hope to finish it by next episode.
All right.
I will do my best to do that, which means I'll probably be at 80% next time. And
the stuff you told me so far sounds really interesting.
It's building to something weird. I don't know what's going on. There's
I want to
these acolytes of the Beyond that are having Sith dreams and getting drawn to the dark side, and Yuptashu is leading them, and I don't know what the hell that's about. I still don't know what the base on Jakku is. They call it the Observatory. And there's... Oh, Brenton Wexley knew a guy who worked in communications, and he got some...
Where?
That's the thing I sent you about the guy who was pulling communications from deep space, and he knew how to. He was able to hack through hyperspace things to get communications from deep space. And they heard talk of some laboratory in deep space in the unknown region outside of the known galaxy, and they went and looked and didn't find anything. So there is something out there that's referred to as a laboratory. That's not whatever's on Jakku. Ugh.
Those powers.
All of that better get wrapped up in this book, unless they just keep referring to it and it doesn't get wrapped up at all.
Do you think it'll happen in episode 8?
I don't know.
That just seems so unrelated to the main story in the new trilogy.
As I work toward the end of Empire's End, I mentioned this to you earlier, but that I want the epilogue at the end to be somebody giving Snoke a report of what happened on Jakku. And Snoke realizing, okay, it's time to do whatever. I don't know. I want Snoke to
5 years later.
Snoke to appear at the very end of the book. I doubt it'll happen, but that would be super cool. I don't need to know where he is or what he's doing. I just want...
Like I said, there's probably people who have read this already and already know the answer. So,
but the excitement is us finding out.
I can't really talk about it.
The excitement is us finding out.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of want to start with this book and not have to read the
Not read the first or second, where it builds up all of the characters.
Because the life debt thing doesn't really sound that interesting.
It was good.
Was it?
Again, the first one was okay. The second one was good, and the third one is really good. Mm-hmm. The second one was very, very interesting.
I want to start with the really good one and then work my way back.
That doesn't... nope.
Well...
You're reading through them and be like, oh, this guy has an eyeball again. He didn't have an eyeball in the other one.
Well, who's this guy now?
What did you turn into?
What?
What are you?
I don't know. Onion Man?
Onion Man? That's... try again.
That's an Onion Man. Try again?
Try again.
Thanks. All right.
Take 2. What are you?
A burger man.
Jerky boy.
I'm a little jerky boy.
All right, jerky boy. Thank you for that riveting.
You're welcome. I just want to start with a good one.
All of your characters
boy.
Today are very, very weird. I think Rapping John is the best one so far because he wasn't as bad as the others.
Well, I'm Rapping John, and I'm here to say that I'm kind of weird in a Rapping John way.
Thank you, Rapping John.
I like to rap, and I like to roll. I like to eat sushi rolls. I'm not very good at raps, you see. I can't rap clearly.
I love in raps when they extend the syllables of words to make them rhyme. That's my favorite part of rap. You take like a 2-syllable word and make it 6. Oh, it's the best. Those rhyme schemes get me every time. Okay. This is the end, Michael.
Did you just... Those rhyme schemes get me every time? Are you trying to rhyme
Oops.
schemes with a time?
No, I wasn't trying to rap it. I wasn't trying to rap at all. That was just a coincidence that it didn't rhyme.
It was a coincidence that you aren't very good at something you weren't trying to do.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We should stop.
This is the end of the episode. We are announcing it officially. All right. If you want to listen to more episodes, hit us up at HokeyReligion.com. You can find us on Facebook at Hokey Religion, or at Facebook.com/Hokey Religion. Find us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Hokey Religion. Hokey_Religion, because that bastard won't give us his username because he won't reply to us or friend us, and I don't think he really exists anymore. You can find us on YouTube if you'd like to listen to it there because of whatever reasons you have. I don't understand. You can email us questions, comments, jerky samples. If you can email us jerky samples, that'd be fantastic.
If you can email us jerky samples, we will bring you on the show.
At AskLobot@HokeyReligion.com. Do we have anything else that we're on or do? Oh, if you enjoy the show and you would like to support us in any way in making the show better, you can go to patreon.com/HokeyReligion. You can support us by as little as $1 a month, and we're actually going to start putting our recordings of our episodes. So we record these episodes and release the audio. We're now recording the video of our episodes and releasing that to Patreon patrons only. The previous to the episode 40, any live recordings were on YouTube, so you can see them, see if you like watching us be a bunch of buttholes. And if you like that, if you like those buttholes, you can go to patreon.com/HokeyReligion
and you can get all the buttholes you've ever wanted.
And you can fill up on buttholes.
Just bowls of buttholes.
Bowls of holes. Enjoy.
Rapping John out here to say, I like to rap with
holes
my buttholes.
Okay, Rapping John.
You need to just quit Rapping John. You are not doing very well.
Just go home.
Just go home, Rapping John.
This has been the 40th episode of Hokey Religion. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
Goodbye.
Hokey Religion is an ancient word. Hokey Religion is an ancient weapon for no match for a good blaster at your side.